Good evening, guys. Are you getting my voice? Okay, good. Okay, today we are going to see a new concept called the generics. Did you have any idea about this concept of generics in Java? Anybody have any idea? Did anybody have any idea about this concept of generics? Actually, not a new topic. Okay, I think, did you have any idea about the templates in C++? Yeah, same concept here. In C++, we are calling them as templates. Here we are calling them as the generics. Okay. If we have any, I think already we have seen templates in C++. Okay. If we have idea about that one, then the same concept here also. Similar concept with little changes. Same templates concept. What is the main concept of templates in C++? Main purpose of templates in C++. Data type as a parameter. Okay. What is its main purpose? Okay, we are passing data types as parameters. That's all. I am accepting that. See, the main concept of templates is, okay, if we are using templates while writing classes or methods, okay, by using templates, our main aim is the class or method has to accept any data types. Okay, generally, if we create, yeah, exactly, you came to that point. Reusability of the classes and methods. We can use the same method or we can use the same class for every data type, for any data type we want to do. Okay, that is the main concept of the template. Okay, reusability of the classes and methods. For example, generally, if we create a method which is a parameters int x comma int y, then that method will accept only two integer parameters. Okay, if you want to pass the float parameters, what we have to do? We have to create separate method which will accept both floats. Generally, if we create, generally up to now we are creating methods with parameters. They are directly we are declaring their data type. Okay, void add of int x comma int y. We are directly declaring so that the add method will take only into two parameters. First one is int, second one is also int. If you are declaring void add of int comma double, first one is the int, second one is double. It will accept the two only. The order must be first parameter must be integer, second parameter must be double value. Okay, what about if the parameters are changed? We have to create a new method. When we come to the concept of templates, our main aiming here there is we write the method only once, but same method can be used for different data types. Reusability of the methods and classes. Okay, when we come to the Java generics also, same concept. Okay, briefly, it is similar to that of the templates in C++. If you people have idea about templates in C++, then we are happy. Generics is a very, very simple concept for us, as we have idea about that one. Guys, are you following? Now, when we come to this generic concept was implemented in Java from Java 5. Okay, from the 4.5 version only. From the 5th version onward, generic was added to the Java from Java 5 onward. Okay, here the main aim of this in introduction of generics is to support the compile time checking by adding generics to the Java. The main motive is it has to support compile time, type checking, and to remove the class cast exception. Okay, main 2 points why generics were added to Java means one is to provide compile time, type checking, as well as to remove the risk of class cast class cast exception. We will see what are those. Clearly, we will see now. Clear. Then another advantage is to use the same class for different category of objects. Okay. The other advantage of generics is okay, we can reuse of the class. We can use the same class for different collections of objects such as integer, string, float, double for any data type. We can use the same class, reuse of the same classes for different collection of objects. That is one advantage. And other points are generics was added in Java to provide compile time, type checking, as well as to remove the error class cast exception. Okay, we will see clearly what is this compile time checking, why it is needed, what is this class cast exception, how generics is removing that one. Then we will go for how to create generic classes, how to create generic methods, that we will see later. First, we will concentrate on the first point. How, why generics was added, why it is, how it is enabling compile time type checking, and how it is removing the problem cast exception. Okay, briefly, directly I will go to one program to understand the first point. Are you following, guys? Is the program visible to you? Only కొంచెం. You want to increase the font size. Again, I want help from you only. I also don't know how to increase the font size in Eclipse also. Again, I want help of you. We want to increase the font size. Navigation, okay. Where it is? Did you have any option to zoom in your phone? Yeah, okay. Current, okay. At present, for today, you please zoom in your mobile. Tomorrow, by tomorrow, we will check that option where it is, how to increase the font size also. Clear? Instead of myself using the magnifier, you zoom the program in your mobile so that it is comfortable for you and me also. See here, I am creating a stack. First, I am creating a stack. Stack list is equal to new stack. I am creating a stack by using the stack class. I created a stack. Next, after some time, I am trying to add some elements to this one. See, what I have done here is I created a stack with the name list. And for that stack, I added the elements. 3 elements I have added. Now I am compiling this one. If you observe here, is there any errors up to now? we don't have any errors. Happily, it is taking all the elements. Is it clear, guys? If I created a stack, the stack, I have created a stack data structure with the name list. I have added first element, I have added is string ABC. The second element I have added is string XYZ. The third element I have added is integer 5. Similarly, I am adding one more. We are giving some double value, 5.5 double value. Still now we don't have any error. That means for the list we have created, simply if you are using this syntax, what is happening is the list is happily accepting any type of values. If you observe here, the point is it is accepting string parameter, string values, it is accepting integer value, it is accepting the double value. The list is accepting any type of values. Okay. The general nature of the data structures is they will accept any type of value. Okay, whatever the value we are given, will accept that one. Here the user wishes he want to create a stack which will accept only strings. The aim of the user is he want to store all the names of the students in the stack. So first he entered the name of student one. He entered name of second student. He entered name of third student. Like that, his aim is he is creating the stack to store name of all the students. Okay, since he wants to store the names, first he entered the first name, second name, third name, like this he entered. While he is entering the names in the middle, okay, due to some unfortunately, he entered some integer value. He is line sequentially entering name of roll number 1, the name of roll number 2, name of roll number 3. Like that, he is copy pasting the names. Meanwhile, while doing the work, unfortunately, knowingly or unknowingly, he entered some integer. In the place of name, he given the roll number 5. Then what will happen? Even though he given the integer value, the stack is happily taking that integer value. The data structure is happily taking that value, even though he is giving integer value, or even though he is giving the float value or double value, the stack is happily taking. It does not checking that one, whether he is entering only the string values, whether he is entering only the integer values, whether he is entering only the float or double, which data type values. Okay, that is the one problem here with this data structures. The normal data structures is it clear, guys? My point. Okay, in the view of user programmer, he is creating the for entering the strings, but unfortunately, in the middle, by knowingly or unknowingly, he has entered some integer value or some float value. Okay, but the compiler is not the compiler is not raising any exception for that one. It is happily accepting that integer value also. Our aim is to enter only strings, but still, even though you given the integer or float or double value, it is happily taking. That is the one problem. Okay, that means at the time of compiling of the program, the compiler is not considering which type of values you are giving. At the time of compiling, the compiler is not checking what values the user is entering into the list. Clear? For this purpose, here, see the line 10 and 11, what happened here? Whenever he given the string ABC, it is happily accepting. Whenever he enter the string XYZ, it is accepting. And whenever he tries to enter the value, integer value 5, at the time of compiling itself, the compiler is not accepting that 5. So that means the compiler is reminding to the programmer, you are trying to give some other value. It is giving some indication to the programmer. Okay, at the time of compiling itself, the compiler is alerting the user, you are giving some different value, some different wrong value. So that instead of finding the problem at the running of the program, at the time of compiling itself, the programmer will happily identify, I am trying to give some wrong data type, so I will change the value. Okay, like this. That is the point. The concept of this generic is by providing the data type name at the time of creation of the data structure itself. Okay, the compiler will check, okay, the values at the time of compiling of the program itself. If you observe here, the first point is generics was added to provide compile time type checking at the time of compiling itself. Compile time, the compiler will check the data types. Type safety. Okay, that point is called the type safety. At the time of compiling itself, he is checking for the data type matching. That is called type safety. Since you are giving here string, it will accept only strings. At the time of compiling of the program itself, it will check the data types of the values you are entering, so that there is no scope that the user can enter other data type values into that stack. Okay, only you can give only the strings. If you given here integer, okay, since you have given the data type here as integer, only integers are accepted. Remaining all are not accepted. Okay, here the user is able to accept. See, if you don't specify anything, if you don't specify particular data type, it will accept every value. Clear? If you don't specify anything, it is accepting all type of values. But the problem is, if it is accepting all type of values, okay, the programmer concept will be disturbed. The programmer is creating stack or linked list or queue only for storing some particular type of value. For example, I want to save all your names. Then your names means all are strings only. So my stack must contain only all strings must be there. I should not want to store any other values. For example, I want to store all your phone numbers. That means all the values in my list must be the phone numbers, means integer numbers only. Phone number cannot be a float value, double value, or string. It all numbers must be the integers only. Okay, like that. Then we will go for that one. If you want to accept all, if you don't specify anything, it is accepting everyone. If you specify the particular thing, then it is accepting that one only. Here the advantage of this one is, at the time of compiling itself, the programmer is alerted. You have entered some different value. You have entered some different value. When he will itself, he is understanding. Okay, see, what will happen if I don't mention here, it is accepting all type of values. Okay, and along with strings, it is also accepting integer and float. Then what is the problem means? After, for example, see, here I didn't mention the string. It is accepting all type of values. My intention is I want to create the stack for storing all the names. So in my view, I am storing all the names only. In my point of view, I am storing all the names only. So I created a stack for that one. First, I entered the first name ABC, second name XYZ, third name PQR. Knowingly, unknowingly, in the middle of the program, suddenly I given some integer value, but I don't know about that one. Okay, in my intention, I am storing only the strings only as my concept, and as a programmer, as my concept, I am storing the creating the stack for storing strings only. Since in my point of view, what are the values in the stack? Only strings are there. So to retrieve the values, what I will do, So I am retrieving the values. I want to print all the values. So in my point of view, all the values in the stack are strings only. So I retrieved the first string, get of 0. Similarly, second string str1 is equal to get of 1. Clear? What we have done, I have entered the 4 names into the stack and I am trying to print first name. What is the first name in the stack? Second name, third name and fourth name. Now I am running. Observe what has happened in the output. Yeah, we have methods are there to display all the values. If you want to display all the values, you can go for here. First see this one. What is the error it has given? Okay, sorry, this is 3. See, what is the error it has given now? Observe what has happened. Observe this code once. Think as a see here. Think as a programmer. The programmer wishes he want to create a stack for storing names. So he created a stack and he is storing all the names. Unfortunately, in the middle, unknowingly, instead of giving string, he given some integer. And after some time, after entering the values, he is printing each value. First value, second value, third value, fourth value. Okay, like that he is giving the values. This is the code he has written. Is it clear, guys? Up to now, what I have written? Is it clear up to now what I have written in the program? Are you getting? So in the programmer point of view, everything is right in the program. As a programmer, in my view, now it is right. I have created a stack. I have placed only the names. I don't know. I have given the integer. Okay, I have given, in my point of view, I have given all the strings only. And I am trying to print all the values. And I run this program. See, when I run this program, first name ABC successfully printed, second name XYZ successfully printed, third name pick successfully printed. When we come to the fourth one, it is giving exception, class catch exception as given. Okay, it is saying that at Java 22, at the line Java 22, class catch exception is there. What is this class catch exception is? Okay, you are trying to bring which value? We are trying to bring which value? By we are trying to bring the string value. See, the programmer intention is he want to bring the string value. Why? Because in his point of view, all the values are strings only. I am entering only names. So he is trying to bring the string value. But what is the actual value there? The actual value there is integer value. But the programmer point of view, he wants to bring the string value. Okay. Class cast. Okay, it is unable to change the integer to string directly. Okay, integer cannot be casted to Java.lang.string. The user is trying to bring the string, but actually there is integer. Integer cannot be casted to string. That exception is called class cast exception. Clear? That means here the thing is up to the normal data structure. The problem with the normal thing is up to before Java 1.5. The Java 5, the problem is when we create the data structure, okay, the data structure will accept all type of values. Okay, there is no restriction that user programmer cannot restrict that only this particular values has to enter. Okay, there is no restriction that user programmer cannot restrict that only these values should be entered, other values cannot be entered. Okay, at the time of compiling of the program, you don't check the data type of the values. It don't check the data type of values. At the time of compiling of the program, it will accept all the values. Clear. It don't alert the programmer you have given some wrong value. It will accept all that values given by the programmer. Only at runtime, the programmer will came to know, okay, some problem is there with the value. When he is knowing means only at the time of running of the program, he came to know I have given some wrong value. That is the thing. Okay. Before generic, the problem is when we create the data structures, it will accept all type of values. Compiler will not check the data type checking will not be there. At the time of compiling, there is no data type checking. So that what is happening in the data structure is the data set is accepting all type of values. Okay, even though the programmer unknowingly given wrong value, he is unable to know that one. Only he will came to know that instance at the time of running of the program only he will know. At the time of compiling, he don't know. At the time of running of the program only he will came to know something has done wrong. See here. Okay, that's why we are introducing generics. Generics will provide first 2 points. At the compile time, data type checking will be done at the time of compile time only. To provide compile time type checking. Generic was introduced for supporting compile time type checking and also to remove the risk of class cast exception. To remove the risk of class cast exception and to provide compile time checking. This concept was introduced. Okay. Now, what will happen is, see, if I place here string, if I place here string, now what is the advantage of this one? After making this modification, what is the advantage we have? What is the advantage got by the programmer? What is the advantage now we got by writing there? At the time of creation of the stack itself, we are giving the data type. Yes, at the time of compile time itself, at the time of compiling itself, programmer came to know he has given some other data type value. So he has no need to wait for the running of the program. Until before running of the program itself, the programmer came to know I have given some wrong value. So he will make correction automatically before running of the program itself. The programmer will make corrections. Clear. The advantage of this concept is by adding this one. What is the advantage is at the time of compiling itself, the compiler will check the type data type matching. It will check the data type so that the programmer will came to know only at the time of compiling of the program itself. He came to know that one. I am giving some different value, so I have to correct the value. He has no need to identify that problem at the time of running of the program. Okay, at the time of compiling itself, see that at the time of compiling itself, it is saying here, it is saying that it is showing this thing cannot be added. So that the programmer has no problem. He has no need to identify the error during running of the program. Directly at the time of compiling of the program itself, the programmer will understand. As a programmer now, if I give that one follow generic, immediately when I type this 11th line, before typing the 12th, 13th line, 14th line, when I type this 11th line, I will get the error. So at the time of writing of the program itself, I will understand something is wrong in the 11th line. So I will correct that immediately. Instead of knowing that one after running of the program, I will came to know the error only at the time of compile time. That is the advantage of this one. Okay. Is it clear, guys? The first 2 points: compile time, type checking, and removing of class cast exception, typecasting and type safety. Clear. That is the thing that for that reason first generics was added. Okay. And by using these generics, one more advantage is it will support the reusability of the class. Generics will also support the reusability of the class. Okay, we can use the same class and same method for different data types. By okay, we can use the same class and same method for different data types by using this concept of generics. By using this generic, we can create the generic classes, we can create the generic method so that we can reuse the generic class, we can reuse the generic method. Clear? Now we will briefly see. Is it clear, guys? The first point. Okay. What is this compile time type checking? What is this class? How we are removing this class cache exception? If the first point is clear, then we will go for creation of the generic classes and generic methods. See, when we come to the generic class, it is similar to our template class templates. Okay, at the class name itself, we will give the type parameters. Okay, along with the class name. See this general syntax: public class, class name. Along at the class name itself, we are giving the type parameter section will be given. Okay, below we write the body of the class: public class add T1, T2. These two are the data structures. Okay, T1, T2. This is the general syntax of the generic class, the public class add T1, T2. Okay, directly we will go to the program to understand easily these generic classes also. If we have idea about the template class, then it is very easy. Okay, directly we will go to the program to see this concept of the how we are writing generic class, how we are writing the generic method. Is it clear, guys? Now see here, only we have 3 minutes are left till now. So now I am ending this meeting. Again, I will send you the user ID and password. Please connect again. Okay, only we have 3 minutes are left. So I will disconnect now and again I will send you the ID. Then we will write the program for generic class.